All right, welcome back. We're working on the engine again. In the last engine video, we took the heads all off, found the blown head gasket, and kind of looked over that. We saw some other things that were going on in the pistons. I have kind of made a plan. So I talked to the engine shop. They're going to take the block kind of as is with the rotating assembly in there. So I'm not going to pull out the rotating assembly anymore. And I am going to pull off a few more of the things that are still on the block to get it kind of down to a bare block. And I think I'm going to go with just a 306 build. So that's one reason I'm going to take it to them as is, so they can check over the crank and the rods to kind of make sure that those are all still good, which I think that they should be. Nothing catastrophic really happened in the engine, like we didn't seize it up or anything like that, but just to make sure that those are all still good, that we didn't accidentally bend a rod or anything on the side that had the coolant. But if everything checks out good, we're just going to go with a standard 306 build. That should still net me, with all the other things that were already on the engine, which is kind of what I already bought the engine to be. Should net me like 300 to 320 horsepower is kind of the goal. That's just to try to keep the cost down. Getting a whole stroker kit is going to add $2,000 probably onto the build, because I would have to go with a new full rotating assembly, new dampener, new flywheel, because most likely the 331 stroker would be a 28 ounce balance, where this is currently, the stock 50 ounce balance. And then just the other things that kind of add up to it, plus the heads, the cam, are not really suited for anything bigger than like a 302, 306. So with going to a 331, I'm starting to max out the cam, the heads that are currently on there, and so that just adds to the cost even more, which I don't really want to. Plus they said labor for both of them, which is the same as you would expect, because it's just putting things together and still boring out, is $1,500 just in labor of doing each of them. So just to keep that cost down, since this is was not a planned expenditure, it's we'll either put all that money into the car, into the suspension on the car, or something else onto the car than the engine at this time. Because the more I look into it, I really think that a Coyote is probably the way to go to really make the car competitive in cam class. So obviously I'm not doing that right now, not in the funds. A Coyote swap is looking to be, on the cheap side, maybe $5,000, on the expensive side, like $10,000. So there's a big room, big expenditure there that I just cannot swallow at this time. But I think in the future, that is going to be the plan. So maybe in 3 years, I know that sounds like a lot, but maybe in 3 years, we'll be doing a Coyote swap on the Mustang to really make a run at being a national competitor. So the plan, as I've said before, is to try to do more regional events next year, kind of see how we stack up, make some plans, and try to do a more, make the car more competitive regionally and maybe nationally. It would be cool to do some more national events. That is just a lot more travel, further travel, since I am on the East Coast, to try to make it into the Midwest kind of events. But that is the future goal for the car. I want it to be as competitive as possible. And so for right now, I'm going to start stripping this a little bit further down. Then we'll get this thing off to the engine shop and go from there. So I got everything torn down as far as I'm going to take it. I'm going to let the engine shop complete the disassembly of taking out the rotating assembly, because I want to get the rods and crank all checked over to make sure that they are good. And if they're good, then I'm just going to go and have them put in new pistons and just go to a 306 build. So bored 30 over, new pistons, and good to go. Try to figure out what pistons we need to go with for the 11Rs. If I can go like flat top probably, or something like that. Don't think I can go domed, and I don't think I really want to go dished, which would be what, more or less compression, which would be better for power adder, which I'm not doing a power adder. So I think just a flat top, probably with reliefs, valve reliefs in it. But I'll talk to them and get it all figured out. Still have the camshaft in it. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem. I didn't really want to deal with having to take it out, and then it might need to be timed when it goes back in. So it's something that I want to let them handle, because I don't really have the equipment to do timing of the camshaft. Right now it looks like it's just installed straight up, dot to dot, and that would be how I would do it if I was putting it back in, but that might not be the best for this particular cam. So it's something that I wanted the engine shop to kind of handle. Also, we will take in the heads and have those just checked over to make sure that they are still flat and no other issues. I don't know if they can check like valve stem seals and stuff on like a bench or something like that. I imagine that they probably can. Same as kind of doing a leak down test on an engine. So I think they could probably do a leak down test like on the head itself, but I'll take those into them as well. So at the moment, the plan is to do just a 306 build. If things come back bent or out of tolerance or something, we will have to reevaluate and possibly have to spend a lot more money, which I don't really want to do at the moment, but we'll see. So this is going to go off to the engine shop. Not sure how long they're going to have it. It all kind of depends on parts availability and everything like that. But the plan wasn't to get the engine back in this year. We'll do it in the off season. We'll continue running the engine that's in there and get the new one installed in the off season to be ready for next year autocross season. So this guy's going off, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.